Hi, welcome back to part 5 of this retro studio scene I'm doing. This episode is just all about focusing on getting this kitchen modeled. And so yeah, just take this block out, which I pulled from the scene, to a separate file, and we'll just start modeling and doing some of the textures, work some things out. It's going to be a pretty fast process, but hope it's helpful. It's very similar to a previous kitchen I've done, the Nordic kitchen, so I'm just sort of duplicating those techniques. So let's just get cracking. Okay, I'm just starting off by organizing my scene so I can turn the blocking layer on and off. And now I just realized, because the floor is raised in the kitchen, I'm just lowering it down so it'll make it easier for me to work off zero. I'm just making these vertical panels that will go through the side there. I'm just looking at some Nordic kitchen brand, which is what I love, their kitchens. I'm just looking at how their width of their side panels. Now here I'm just duplicating them across. I realized that I probably made the cabinets too thin, which is probably why I need to adjust them. This is why a blockout's okay, but you know, when it comes to actually making the kitchen, I have to see what the sizing really should be. So the oven cavity is wider. It's like 650 mils. I think the normal cabinet width is 600. So here I'm just establishing all the base forms. And this would be the toe kick and the actual cabinet. I'm not going to build the inside of the cabinets. I'm not going to open the cabinets. And most of the time this is just fine. Unless you're getting ridiculously close, this is just perfect. Also, it means you don't have to make a back panel. It's just quicker. Use the oven cavity one. And I'm just moving these by hand. It's not like duplicating them with clones, so they're exactly perfect. And I quite like that. I feel like it just adds a tiny bit of difference in the gaps. And here I'm just making the front panels. And this is the drawer pull, so I wanted a finger pull on the underside, so I just cut it there, and so it has a bit of a lip, and then I'm pulling it upwards. And that's that one. And it's basically done. Just fussing with the chamfers here. Here I'm just adjusting the width of the front panel and the pull, and I want these side panels to come out quite a bit, so like got a division. Just duplicating this stuff across. That'll be the pantry and the fridge on the end. That's what those larger cabinets are. Now I'm trying to duplicate the style from the oven cavity. I extended the side panels up. I thought it'd be cool to have a little shelf up there, put some dishes or kitchen styling elements. I wanted to have a really like lived-in feeling, so I thought it'd be cool to put that up there. And then I sort of duplicated that form on the fridge and pantry side. What I wanted to do here was to have sort of a ventilation panel for like a fridge, and the pantry is the same, just to duplicate it. Here I am doing the cutouts for the ventilation. I just make it with splines and then extrude it as in make a thickness. It's the fastest way. I don't boolean out of polygons. It's just a waste of time. Or it never works properly. Always get messy geometry. So I'm just using the clone tool. I think it's from Forest Pack. It's free. It's fantastic. But I'm just using it here to just get the sizing right of the holes. Then I'm gonna convert them into splines and make a spline rectangle, join them together, and then that'll just make the geometry. I just need to cut out a space at the top there so you don't just see wood behind the ventilation. I want a bit of depth. Here's the back panel for the shelf there. And that's it, that's the base cabinet's done. Oh, I make the holes for the ovens. I realized here I don't need the full panel at the front because the ovens will sit how the ovens will sit in the cabinet. I realized I just needed a drawer down the bottom. So I'm just positioning everything, gonna get sorted here, and then I'll cut out some holes for those ovens. Otherwise you'd get wood panels right behind the glass. This is just basic modeling. There's nothing complicated here. This is fast architectural. It is modeling. Here I'm just putting a lip on that top shelf. I'm not sure if I like it. I'll have to see how it interacts with the styling later. You'll see later on. I'm not sure. I put a clock on the top there, and I'm not sure if it just blocks too much, but I just have to see how I'm going to style it. I want to put some coffee bags up there, and a nice coffee machine, similar to our reference, and go from there. So, yeah, I'm just adjusting I'm working on the bench top, and initially I was going to go for like a dark stone, but dark stones just don't resonate with me very well. Here I'm just setting up the sink cavity. I'm not sure about that tap as well. It's just the sink that I have from my library. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the tap. I found a nice chrome tap, but I'll have to remodel it because the only model I could find was not a good quality one. So I don't really want to sit and model that on recording. Here I am just using a spline to do the filleted corners on the bench top because I don't really want to boolean it out. Again, not the biggest fan of booleans, so just when you go to smooth it or anything like that, it just gets really messy. Here I'm just adding extra splines, extra vertexes inside the splines just to get it not to make any weird geometry. Here I am I think I'm trying out a stone texture for the bench top. This texture is from Polygon. I've got some large stone slab textures. And here I'm just thinking about the edge. I'm not sure I like that just flat slab looking edge. So I just made a duplicate of that and put it in a backup layer in case I want to change something. So I've just collapsed it down to a single plane here, the spline, so I can create a bull nose, I think it's called here, on the end. like that. I think that looks quite good. And here I am just cutting out the sink cavity. Here's that stone texture. I mean, it looks alright, but I don't know if that's sort of what I'm going for. We'll have to see. I change it and you'll see what I change it to. And let me know what you think. I've changed it to stainless. If you think the stainless looks good or you think a dark stone would look better, give me a shout in the comments, tell me what you think. I'm kind of leaning towards the stainless. I've done it in a previous project and I thought it looked quite good. Sorry you can't see here, put the render window out of the way there. But here I'm making the stainless using the F-Storm anisotropic fast way of doing it, which doesn't look realistic to me. So I changed it to a preset I've made before, which is uses the old Johannes way of making stainless, which is like a super low tiny bump of a noise. I'm just trying to fuss with it there to get it the right size. It's very, very dependent on the size of the noise, so you gotta nail that down. And it looks good on the sphere here, it's just when it's applied to the bench it gets a little darker. And it's got some fingerprints in it, just to add a bit of realism. And here, the orientation of the noise is what's the problem here. It was orientated in the wrong direction, and so that's why it looks lumpy. And so I just have to adjust it here. Here's me just to see it's orientated in the wrong direction. So I'm just changing the direction of the noise till it goes in the right way, and then you get the right sort of stainless. I think here's me just trying to put some cut out some of those fingerprints because it's just sort of too many. It's too consistent all over the thing. I may actually change it later. It depends how much you see it. When you lower it down like that, you can barely see it. No, I made an adjusted fingerprint texture, just one of one I had, with more sort of cutouts where there's no fingerprints, so it'll just sort of not look so uniform across the surface. Here I'm just fixing up the tiles in the back there so that the grout lines up. Well, these finger tiles are also from Polygon. And here I'm adding a bit of grey diffuse to the stainless steel. I find that's the best way to like push it up from too dark to a realistic level of what a stainless will look like. And here we go, we're going to start on the wood veneer. Very mid-century modern wood veneer for the cabinet fronts. At some reference here, not so much for the color but more for the reflectivity and the bump on it, because this sort of old veneer is like an oiled wood. I don't even know, it's just got a lot more it's not shiny. Oh, you can have two, you can have like a really shiny one, or you can have this sort of oiled look. And here's me adding some I just made a tiled version of it because this texture wasn't tiled. I'm just saving different maps there. And then I offset them because I don't want it to be panel matched, because I just think it would be better not to be panel matched. So Here I'm just doing the UV maps real quick. Now I'm not going to be able to like nail down how the material looks in this white scene, because I should be doing it in the actual scene, and so I do make some final adjustments there, but we just want to get like the base setup of what the material looks like here in this scene, and then we can go adjust it if we need to. I'm just deleting the old kitchen and copying it across. I use Copyter, which is a script, to copy and paste between Max files. Should just be a standard Max feature, honestly. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and now we just start getting set up to adjust the kitchen materials, get them in the right direction. And so there, that's looking pretty close to how I wanted it to look. It's got that sort of red, orangey, retro look. Here I'm just trying to adjust it more orange. It's too orange to pull it back, and I just do that with the hue adjustment, a color correction node, straight into the diffuse. Yeah, and I think now I'm just increasing the bump because I wanted a lot of those like vintage furniture, like I feel like the grain has come out over years, so yeah, so it's fitting there well. I like how it's fitting in the space. Here I was just trialing out if I could pop some more splotches of like orangey in the diffuse, but I just found that like it looks splotchy. No, it doesn't follow the grain pattern, so I'd have to make a custom diffuse map in Photoshop. I just don't think it's worth it. I think it looks alright. Trying to keep rolling here, not get too caught up making the perfect wood. I think that looks good. I'm just adjusting the tiles here because they're way too reflective. I think I'm just increasing the glossiness, like the blur and the glossy. I think the stainless steel looks good. Sorry. That's good. The bullnose on the stainless steel bench looks good. Quite like how it's turning out. And here I'm just working on a door handle for the pantry and the fridge. Just with a spline. Nothing fancy. Now I'm just sort of having a look how it's rendering in the scene, adjusting the lighting. And here I realized the oven is just too reflective. I'm just adding fingerprints, smudges, fingerprints to it. Adjusting. I've got all of these dirt maps set up with real world scale and triplanar, so I don't have to map them. I can just slap them on and then adjust the sizes. And here I'm trying to just add again a noise map to control where it's appearing, just to add some disruption so it's not a whole thing smudged. You know, it's got a bit of variation to it. I'm just changing the reflective glossiness level up and down there till I get something that I'm happy with. I'm gonna turn it all the way down to like 10%, so you'll barely see it. I'm also increasing the contrast on the map, so where the fingerprints are, they'll stand out. Where it's not, they won't stand out. It's looking better already. Way less reflective, which is just too reflective for real life. Now I just wanted to put this Twemco clock, which is in the reference. I love it. I love the flip clock. And I just thought I'd include this recording of me setting up the materials for it. It's just the models of 3D Sky. I wanted to put this orange retro-y thing on here, and I've just got a plastic preset that I have saved in my library. It does have a noise on it, which I just kick off there, and it's got smudges, just to disrupt the plastic surface so it's not too clean. And it's just me adjusting that plastic so it is quite a shiny glossy plastic. And I was about to make a black one for the black parts, but the model came already with a dirt map on it. It looked quite good. Now I'm looking at this alpha here, it's not working. It must be a distance thing. So I just pull it off, that's fine. And this is the plastic glass, like the plastic cover. I'm just adding the same smudges map. That looks pretty good. Just adding some color, like volume to the glass. But because of the way the scene's set up like that, Epsilon's very critical of how the units are set up, so I reset it up, the units, and then I have to do some fixes to the maps because their sizing goes wild, because all my dirt maps are set to real world sizing. So I'm just refixing out my dirt maps here. I'm just using a blank Epsilon material so I can actually see how the map's looking. I'm just changing the scale here. There, I'm also just controlling how much it's affecting it and controlling the glossy level. Just pull it down a bit. And that's it. That's set up. I'll add it to my library and we'll place it in the scene. Okay, and that sort of finalizes the kitchen for now. I think the cabinets look alright. May have to readjust them as we go a bit further. And there's a little clock up there. And I think I'm not sure what I'm going to move on to next. I was considering working on the living room because I found some furniture I'd like to start working in there. Yeah, we'll just keep going. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next one.